Without our volunteers washing those dishes, the kitchen would be a mess. So we want to thank you also. You are the unsung heroes of the temple. Maybe people don't congratulate you on seeing you, but Krishna is seeing, Radharani is seeing, and Srila Prabhupada is seeing. So thank you very much. Don't think your service is going in vain. Actually, it's an exalted service to be able to clean the temple for Krishna. So, in 2017, we reached a major milestone, and that is that we were able to pay off the mortgage of this temple. It was paid off on the 31st of December. We received a letter from our bank saying that you are debt-free now. Yeah. So we built the temple, and we moved in 2008. That's 9 years ago. And we took a loan for $1.6 million at that time. We had raised about $3.2 million. And we needed a loan, and we got the loan. And in 9 years, we paid it off. So that's a great accomplishment. I want to thank all the devotees that sacrificed tremendously to do that. And every donation counted, because every time someone gave a donation toward the mortgage, we put it into the mortgage. That's why it got paid off. Then, another important thing that we did in 2018, we celebrated the first Jagannath Rath Yatra in the streets of Bellevue with a major chariot. And that'll be a yearly tradition now. And that was a big success. There were about 5,000-6,000 people came, and we danced in the streets of Bellevue. The police cordoned off the streets. It took us a long time to get that permission. That permission was achieved by the help of and the leadership of Raja Raman Prabhu and other devotees. We had to negotiate a long time with the city of Bellevue until they agreed to let us do it. They had never done something like this with a religious group before. And but we convinced them that the Jagannath Rath Yatra is not simply a religious festival. It's been a traditional festival for at least in modern history, 2,000 years in Jagannath Puri. But it goes much longer than that, much more historical than that. But at least for 2,000 years in recorded modern history, the Jagannath Festival has been performed in Jagannath Puri. So they understood that. They understood that this is something that is traditional for the Hindu community, and because Bellevue City Council and the mayor support multicultural festivals that reflect the demographic diversity of Bellevue, they agreed to have the festival. And the mayor also came, and other city officials, and it was just a great success. So thank you very much. Everyone worked hard. This year, in 2017, we had 5 major festivals. We had the Color Festival, we had the Ananda Mela Festival, we had Janmashtami Festival, we had the Rath Yatra Festival, and then we had the Diwali Lights Festival. And besides that, many other festivals, but those were the major ones. Now, the Diwali Lights Festival was important for us because it represented the first year that we became part of the Seattle Center's Festal program. That is their ethnic culture festivals. So they celebrate 23 ethnic cultural festivals in the Seattle Center. We're number 23. We represent the Indian community. We're their latest arrival. And because we became part of the Festal program in 2017, we were also given a very big, we were given a big presence at the Northwest Folklife Festival, where we had our cows and we had about 6 booths. Usually, one booth at the Northwest Folk Festival cost $2,500. They gave us 6 plus our cows. So that was a great success. We've never had such a presence at the Northwest Folklife Festival. Usually we used to sneak in and try and distribute some prasadam and do a little kirtan until they kicked us out. Now they invited us, and they made us part of their program. They also let us perform kirtan, so it was just a great success. Then another thing happened, that is, we've been trying to open our temple in Bellevue, and we've run into a lot of, let's say, administrative glitches. So the main one was getting a parking agreement with one of our neighbors, by which they would accept to note that agreement on their deed of trust. That took over a year to find someone who was willing to do that. And it took a lot of persuading and cajoling, but they finally did. And that was a difficult thing to obtain, and we obtained it in 2017. But as if that wasn't enough, the city of Bellevue came back to us and said we had to get additional parking agreements with other neighbors that were not binding on the deed of trust. So we tried to do that, and we weren't able to do that until just recently. And I received a letter from the Safeway company, which has a big parking lot across the street from our temple. And yesterday, on my birthday, they sent a letter saying they agreed to let us use their parking lot. That took 5 months. And that means we're going to go forward now and open the temple. It'll take a few more months, but we'll get permission now because we're going to be able to satisfy all their demands. So it took us 5 years to build this temple. We're on our 4th year to open up the Bellevue temple. So we're a little ahead of the game there. And but you don't build a temple, you don't open a temple simply with money and administrative, let's say, meeting administrative demands. You build temples and you open temples with prayers. So opening a temple means that the people in the community and the members of the temple, they're actually chanting their rounds, they're actually following the rules and regulations of spiritual life, and they're actually praying fervently to Radha and Krishna, please let us serve you, and please let us open this temple and serve you very nicely. So that is what we're celebrating tonight. Prayer actually works. When you have faith in the name of Krishna and his holy mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You chant the names of the Lord with faith, you follow the rules and regulations of spiritual life, then miracles happen. Miracles do happen. I've seen it many times in my own life. I'm not going to go through a list of them, but there were many that I actually saw happen in my own life. But miracles happen today. And I think that if everyone sincerely chants and prays for Radha and Krishna's mercy, all kinds of wonderful things are going to happen in 2018. Another thing that just happened, I made a proposal to the city of Seattle, to the Seattle Center about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, to have a new festival. And it's called the Festival of Compassion. And it's a festival focusing on homeless people. Everyone else is trying to ignore them. That means we should focus on them, right? Homelessness is a huge problem on the west coast of the United States. And there are 3 cities where it's particularly big problem. And those are Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. And it's getting worse. In the city of Seattle alone, there are more than 11,000 people that are homeless. 5,000 of them sleep on the streets. The rest, the other 6,000, sometimes they stay in cars. Some of them stay off and on with friends or relatives, but nothing is certain. Some of them stay in shelters. Some of them stay in tent city encampments. So I proposed to the Seattle Center that we have a festival and we focus on showing the public all the governmental, religious, and private organizations that are engaged in helping the homeless people. And also, for the benefit of the homeless people, that they can come to this festival and they'll be honored with free prasadam. There'll be entertainment, and we're going to try and get homeless people who are artists or who can sing or performers, and they can also meet all the people that are and have a real face of the different organizations that are trying to help them. Like, for example, the city of Seattle has allocated $84 million this year, 2018, to help the homeless people. $84 million. That's how seriously they see the problem on their streets. And it's an embarrassment because Seattle is becoming gentrified due to Amazon and other major companies. And that's driving up the prices of apartment rentals, house prices, and everything in the city of Seattle. So there are people who have jobs but can't afford anymore to pay the rent. They become homeless. They have jobs. They can pay a certain rent, but not in Seattle anymore. So either they move far away where they can afford, but even outside of Seattle, all the rents have gone up. So a lot of people are becoming homeless, and they're not necessarily drug addicts. They're not necessarily crazy. They're just normal people. They just can't afford to pay the rent and all the other expenses. So when I made this proposal, it took about 4 or 5 months, and then the city of Seattle, the Seattle Center got back to me, and they said they accepted to have such a festival. And but they said, they gave me the address and they gave me the email of a person named Catherine Lester. She's the person that's in charge of spending the $84 million. She's in charge of the Seattle City's homeless services. And they told me, get in touch with Catherine and see if she's interested in participating in your festival. So I said, okay. So I wrote to her, and I think it was November, and I didn't hear anything. Then I wrote to her again right at the end of 2017. And again on my birthday, I got an email from her. And she said, thank you very much for writing me. Thank you very much for showing an interest in homeless people. We're interested in finding out more about your festival. We would like to arrange a conference call. I'm going to have other people on the phone call from my services, from my agency, and we'd like to hear more about this festival and to see if we can participate in it. So that's a major that's a major happening. I mean, hopefully we can follow through with their expectations and our expectations. And this will be a major thing. No one's ever done this before in Seattle. Of course, there's a lot of services out there helping the homeless, but no one's ever showcased the dilemma and had a festival where we, in a sense, honor their dignity and show compassion and all the different avenues of help for them. This is for the edification of the public and, of course, for the homeless themselves, who are the recipients of so much help in the Seattle area. Then again, we are also going to go forward with a plan, and that is to provide low-cost, self-sustaining living facilities for homeless people. When you build homeless, let's say, low-cost apartments in Seattle, it costs millions and millions of dollars. Because any real estate property in Seattle is a huge expense nowadays. But our plan is to make small villages of maximum 200 people in the surrounding areas of Seattle, not in the city, where building is a lot cheaper. And we're going to make high-tech, self-sufficient villages where, and we're going to do a triage or a vetting of homeless people who are capable of living a simple life with self-sufficiency, and teaching them skills by which they can become independent, earn a modest living, and have very, very low cost for housing. And what we're going to do is, hopefully, the city of Seattle and the outlying cities such as, Bothell, Woodinville, Renton, Federal Way, Everett, all these different outlying cities, they might join in with such a plan. We don't want to make a big city of homeless people. That would be a mistake. We want to make small little villages that are self-sufficient. In other words, the technology is out there for self-sufficiency. What do I mean by that? Like, there's a company in Bellevue that makes an outdoor wood oven, but it's a high-tech oven. You can heat 10 houses with that one with that one furnace, and it uses only wood. So wood is cheap in Washington State. In fact, you can get wood for free in Washington State. You don't have to necessarily buy it if you have the right organization to do it. So we're going to make a proposal like that and see where it goes. I'm very confident that if we make that proposal correctly, I have an architect that's going to help, we could get the funding for one pilot village. If it works, then they can repeat it. And it would be a permanent solution. See, there are many different categories of homeless people. There are, of course, the drug addicts. There are, of course, those who are actually crazy and shouldn't be on the streets. And then there are people who are capable of working and who do work, but they can't afford to pay rent and all the other costs, like, yeah, that's all. They just can't afford. I mean, they don't make enough money to afford all the other things. And then there are people who, they might have criminal records. There are people who, wives and children who have been abused and they ran away from home. There are many, many different categories of homeless people. We might not be able to help every category, or we may be able to help every category if we have different types of villages. One that can help people who are drug addicts. One that is for people who are capable of working but just have fallen on hard times, and so forth. So you get the idea. See, helping 11,000 people on the streets of Seattle is not a simple thing, because there's many different categories of people and many different reasons why they are homeless. But if you come up with a low-cost and feasible plan, see, simply feeding these people, simply having a daycare that's open during the day, or a shelter where they can get temporary shelter, is not a solution. It's help. but it's not a solution. They need a permanent solution, and one that fits each category of homeless persons. So we're going to give it a try. You know, when I first came up with this idea, I didn't know where it was going to go, but so far it's gone pretty well. And if we can go through with the festival, it's going to make a major effect on the entire Seattle area, that such a thing is happening, and now it's possible to come up with real solutions for homelessness. Homelessness is an embarrassment for this country. This is the richest country in the world, and especially Seattle. It has some of the biggest companies in the world here, and there's maximum employment going on. People are getting richer and richer through stock options and the stock market and so forth. And the more economic development there is in Seattle, the more homeless people there are. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So it's an embarrassment. And unless there's some solution for it, it'll just become more and more embarrassing. In Los Angeles alone, there's over 25,000 homeless people. 25,000. And we're almost half of that here in Seattle. So you see, this is a major problem. Okay, so those are some of the prospects for this new year. We're going to open the Bellevue Temple, definitely this year. Our farm is doing very, very well. We need to now upgrade to a full dairy, and we will do that this year. We're looking for another farm right now because we don't want to just have a herd of 15 or 20 cows. We want to grow our herd to 100 cows at least. Because there's a tremendous demand for milk, especially this type of milk, from cows that are being protected, that'll never be killed, that are treated like our own parents or our own children. So that's called ahimsa milk. And it's very important because if we can succeed with the ancient Vedic farming techniques and cow protection, we could change the entire American civilization. If we change the farming techniques in America, we'll change the whole civilization. From a civilization of violence to a civilization of peace and prosperity. Prabhupada has said clearly that the prosperity of human society depends on protection of the cows, Brahmins, women, children, and elderly members and seniors, members of society. So, by proper land stewardship and cow protection, you guarantee the prosperity of the society. It's not based on building factories. It's based on having happy cows and good land management. So good land management, we're experimenting now with no dig, no plow growing. No dig, no plow. That is, we're trying to reproduce at the farm now the same thing that happens in the forest. What happens in the forest is man does not interfere with Krishna's carbon cycle. The carbon cycle is very interesting. It's the proof that nature is self-sufficient. Now, what happens in a forest? Look how big the trees grow. They don't have any fertilization. They don't have any preservatives or any types of drugs. There's no plowing, there's no digging, but yet the trees grow sometimes 50, 60, 80, 100 feet up in the air. That's a huge plant, isn't it? How come that's happening? Because there's no digging, there's no plowing. What's happening is that the trees pull up from the ground minerals, and they received energy from the sun through photosynthesis. They also pull up water, and they produce glucose and oxygen. So they purify the air by bringing in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. Now, at the end of their cycle, their leaves drop, and there's no digging or plowing, so the leaves compost. And then there are animals that die, they also composted, right? And eventually, what happens is all the microorganisms under the earth are protected. There are funguses, there are bacteria, there are worms, there are different underground animals, and they all thrive. And a symbiotic relationship develops between all those bacterias, yeast, and funguses, and the roots of the trees. And they suck up from deep into the ground. Like if a tree's roots go down 50 feet, the funguses go down 300 feet and pull up minerals and moisture and feed the roots of the trees. That's why the trees grow so big, and there's no fertilization at all. See? So the same thing can be reproduced. It's called hugelkultur, where you build mounds. First of all, you dig into the ground and you plant into the ground tree trunks of deciduous trees, trees that lose their leaves. And those tree trunks are covered with cow dung and leaves and composted earth. And now you create a micro environment in which bacteria, yeasts, worms, and other living things thrive in the earth. You don't have to plow, you don't have to dig. And whatever you plant into that mound grows miraculously. Because, and you don't have to water much either, because as those tree trunks begin to decompose, they become like sponges and they absorb water. And then whatever plants you grow, the roots go toward those trunks and they're fed water on a continual basis, even in a drought. So all of a sudden, you have, what we're doing is living in cooperation with the carbon cycle, and which is self-sufficient. So we're experimenting that. We did our first experiment in 2017. Now we're expanding it. And if it works like I think it's going to work, we'll be one of the first farms in the Northwest that grows using hugelkultur. No dig, no plow growing. Now this is actually a revolutionary thing, because if you're interested in environmental friendly techniques, this is the most environmental friendly technique. You can't get any more friendly with Mother Earth than this. And the secret ingredient to this is panchagavya. Panchagavya is the ideal fertilizer for plants. And it's a special way of making it. And our Harivilas Prabhu has documented this for our benefit. And we're going to be making panchagavya now, fertilizer for plants, where you mix cow dung, cow urine, cow milk, cow ghee, and a few other substances together. You let it ferment for a little while, and then you feed the earth. So all this is based on protecting cows and protecting Mother Nature. This will be a revolution if we succeed. And we're going to prove to American farmers that you make more money by protecting cows than by killing them. This is a revolutionary idea. And it's a fact. The cow is worth more alive than dead. So, this was Prabhupada's idea, and this is a Vedic tradition. Of course, don't forget, where does Krishna live? Goloka. What does Goloka mean? The land of cows. And what is Krishna's profession? It's a cow herder, right? So, do you think we're doing something wrong by doing this? No, it has to be right. The only thing that's wrong is not believing that it'll succeed. That's the only thing that's wrong. We have to show that it succeeds. And you don't have to kill the cows. The cow is worth more alive than dead. Because the cow dung, the cow urine, and the cow milk, and the cow ghee, it's all necessary for making Panchagavya. Panchagavya is a medicine, not only for the earth, but for human beings also. So we're going to begin to create the culture of the cow in Seattle and prove to people that you create peace, happiness, and love by cow protection, chanting Hare Krishna, and following the regulative principles. Everybody's looking for happiness, health, peace, and love. And they're not finding it through digital technology, nanotechnology, and all the other technologies. If anything, they're getting techno-psychic, techno-psychosis, I'm sorry. So now we're going to become Krishna conscious. That's the cure for techno-psychosis. And these are the things that we'll be working for in 2018. It's going to be an exciting year, and hopefully you can all participate. It should be part of the revolution, right? This is a bloodless revolution, but it's not. We should call it the revolution of milk, not the revolution of blood. We're going to teach people the wonders of ahimsa milk, and that is a fact. Anyone who drinks this milk, they feel different. Why? Because number one, the cows are not tortured. In commercial cow industry, they milk the cows 3 times a day. They seldom let them out for grazing in the field. Sometimes they do, but most of the times they're being fed inside and they're being milked. Therefore, cows like that, they hardly live 7 or 8 years. A normal cow will live 20 to 25 years. But these cows are overworked, they're stressed, and eventually, when they're not so productive, they send them to the slaughterhouse. This is a great sin. Gopi Prinitas Matsaram. Prabhupada quotes this verse in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and he says that this is one of the greatest sins that humanity can perform, and that is killing cows and exploiting them simply for money. Drinking their milk and then killing them to eat them. It's a very sinful thing. So that should be our goal this year, to prove to the American public how they can achieve happiness, peace, and love through cow protection and through living a simple life based on Krishna consciousness. So thank you very much. This is what we're actually celebrating tonight, the great success of this community, as well as the great hopeful expectations for this new year. Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, as I said, we were able to pay off our mortgage because many people made sacrifices, but the sacrifices are continuing. So tonight we want to recognize Rajiv Sen Gupta. He and his family have donated $2,500 and they're going to match it. We want to thank also Satyanarayana Reddy and his family. They have donated $2,500 for our cows and $2,500 for the mortgage. And they're going to match it. So $10,000. And if I'm reading this, for today's feast, all the devotees, is this right? I've donated $2,500. Is that right? Yes. So I want to thank all the devotees. It's very difficult to thank you enough. And this only shows the vibrancy of the community. And I pray to Radha and Krishna, everyone be blessed for all the sacrifices that you've made, and give you more and more enthusiasm to continue in the future. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So on this occasion and opportunity of Harivilas Prabhu's birthday celebration, the Bhimsen team kids wants to come and say a few words of appreciation for His Grace Harivilas Prabhu. So kids, if you can please come in the front. And I will announce names and we go in that sequence. Okay. Do we have Agastya? No? Agastya?
Does it have to be memorized?
No, read. Nice. We have. Yeah, it's okay. Come here. Come in front of it nicely. Yeah, speak loud.
Hare Krishna, my name is Agastya, and this is what I have to say about Harivilas Prabhuji. Harivilas Prabhuji is a sincere devotee. He takes many lectures and is very understanding. A disciple of Prabhupada himself, Harivilas Prabhuji makes everything easier to understand and clears the path to Krishna consciousness. I know him as a kind devotee who is always engaged in the service of Krishna. He answers your doubts and questions. We are all lucky to have such a great devotee, Harivilas Prabhuji, to guide and preach us about Krishna consciousness in this age of Kali. A humble devotee, Agastya.
Advaita? Coming. Okay. Next is Chaitanya. After that is Krishna Raheja. Please come in the front. All kids who are going to speak, please come in the front.
Dear Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada and you. Also, I wish you a happy Krishna conscious birthday. I thank you for providing this temple and the Goloka farm so we can practice Krishna consciousness and live a healthy life. I will take this opportunity to share my experience in the presence of the Vaishnavas. A few days ago, you came to my house. You asked me what my New Year's resolution was, and I said I don't know. Then you told me that it should be to read the entire Bhagavad Gita before the end of the year, and I said yes, and now I read the Bhagavad Gita. I'm still on chapter 1, but thank you for encouraging me to read the Bhagavad Gita. I'm confident that I'll complete reading the entire Bhagavad Gita by the end of the year with your blessings. Your humble servant, Krishna.
So, Krishna. Next is Pranay Nukula.
Hare Krishna, everybody. My name is Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And today I wanted to thank Harivilas Prabhu for all the lectures and artis he's done for us kids. And I've learned a lot of things from his lectures. But one thing that really struck me was not to laugh at other people's miseries. Now, my parents keep telling me don't read Big Nate and all these Diary of a Wimpy Kid comics. And I never listened because they never told me the real reason why. But one day I went to Harivilas Prabhu's class and he told me not to laugh at other people's miseries. Why? Because then you feel superior to them, and then ego develops, and then it pops like a bubble. So I would like to say thank you to Harivilas Prabhu. And after that, I stopped reading comic books.
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees and Harivilas Prabhu, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. His Grace Harivilas Prabhu has shown me what the Bhagavad Gita really means, devotional service and chanting the Lord's name. And Prabhuji has explained to me and the class that we are not supposed to be lazy, but do everything in the service of the absolute truth Krishna. This has impacted my life because by knowing the real knowledge, I put myself to do more devotional service. When I first started coming to Bhagavad Gita classes in the morning, I started to realize the goal of life and what are the steps to achieve that goal. Harivilas Prabhu is not only my Siksha Guru, but my role model. Now I also want to chant my rounds. To conclude, His Grace Harivilas Prabhu not only showed me what life is, but we are not the body, we are the soul. And we have to control our senses. We should use this life to attain Krishna conscious and set a goal back to Godhead. I've learned that speculation is not the right way. I thank His Grace Harivilas Prabhu for teaching me real knowledge. Radha Melumal Ki Jai. Happy Krishna conscious birthday. Your humble servant Pranay.
Dear Harivilas Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. On your Vyasa Puja day, I would like to speak some words of you in front of the assembled Vaishnavas. We wish you a happy Krishna conscious birthday, and I pray to Shri Radha Madhav and all the deities that you live a long life to serve the Vaishnavas. So, Prabhuji, one day, so we're after your class, you're walking out of the room, and then Puja Machi told you that I was doing book distribution really nicely, and then you turned to me and said you'll become the number one book distributor in North America. I try to do it. I try to go to achieve that goal, but by your mercy only, I can try to achieve that goal. Begging to be your servant forever, Advait.
Nikhil is next.
Dear His Grace Harivilas Prabhu, please. Dear His Grace Harivilas Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Your determination and perseverance to spread Krishna consciousness has benefited many people across Seattle and Sammamish. Your spiritually enriching classes have always inspired me to achieve greater goals in my spiritual life. Your teachings have also transformed my lifestyle. All my family is indebted to you for your lectures. Almost every week you go to Sankirtan in the barren and cold atmosphere of Seattle. You beat the beautiful rhythms on the mridanga and chant the holy name of the Lord for hours at a time. I am usually so exhausted after Sankirtan, but I am awestruck at your determination. You work countless hours in the kitchen, making succulent dishes in the kitchen, and expect nothing in return. On auspicious days like Janmashtami, Harivilas Prabhu works for the whole day despite his old age. I am again wondered by your perseverance. You strive to make our community a Krishna conscious place. I have had many impediments in my physical nature, but I've had many sinus problems and headaches, and when we went to Harivilas Prabhu for medication, he prescribed many herbal and medicinal medicines. And dear Harivilas Prabhu, you are the jewel amongst the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. I beg you to constantly give your association to everybody and inspire us with your golden words. Your humble servant.
Hare Krishna.
So I will give the list of boys who are going to speak. Remember who is ahead of you, and please come and pay obeisance to Prabhupada.
Who's the head?
Yes, come here. We're looking for his parents. Thank you. Okay, so we have Nikhil, followed by Keshav, followed by Arjun Krishna. Then we have Aryan, Satwik, Panav, Nitin, Hari, Akash, and Bhavik. This is the sequence in which I received the audios or they came and approached me. Thank you.
You have to speak to the mic.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I've joined ISKCON very recently, and in that short period of time, you have become a huge inspiration for me into moving further into Krishna consciousness. I used to come to ISKCON very rarely because it was a long drive from Sammamish from Bellevue. And even when I do come, I only stay there for a little bit before I wanted to go home. But now I try to come as much as possible, even if there's school the next day. And I also try to stay there for as long as possible because I do not want to leave. I come more often because of the interesting lectures and hospitality for newcomers that you provide. A prime example of this is the summer class where you taught us more about the Bhagavad Gita and taught us new words that we came across in the purports. And you also helped us improve our behavior and be a better person in general. I learned so much in that class, and it was so interesting that I wanted to come back for more. You have been a great teacher and role model to me, and I wish you a happy Krishna conscious birthday. Thank you, Prabhuji, for teaching me so much. Your humble servant, Nikhil. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Harivilas Prabhu. Have a Krishna consciousness birthday. I would like to thank you for your weekend kids Bhagavatam classes that has taught us how to be Krishna conscious. Also, thank you for Wednesday values classes in which we heard stories from you and played musical chairs. And thank you for your support, guidance, and inspiration. Keep blessing us, your humble servant Arush.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. If I had one New Year's resolution that I had to follow, it would simply to have as much energy and enthusiasm in anything like you do. The amount of energy that you bring at your age is simply incredible. Coming to the temple as a young boy, you have molded me into who I am today. I remember last summer when I tried to come every single morning to your classes and complete the homework. Relentlessly, you would teach us whether there were distractions or not. Your goal is to teach us, and I as a student can gratefully say that you're the best teacher I've ever had. Due to this has inspired me to chant my rounds, read more spiritual books, and perform more service. But what truly amazes me the most is your commitment to performing Sankirtan every single week, rain or shine, to deliver the fallen souls on the streets of Seattle. You go for the purpose of only serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission of bringing the Mahamantra to every single village and town, and are starting the movement here in the greater region of Seattle. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harivilas Prabhu, I request you to please guide us for many more years and encourage more devotees to join the temple. Hari Bol, your humble servant Keshav.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, happy birthday. I like your one of the story classes, and I want to play musical chairs, and all of us singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, including you. Just by eating prasadam, you will go to Goloka. Why do you make the best, one of the best khichdi and halwa? People come to Nagar Sankirtan since of the burritos. Since one person, I gave him one burrito and he liked it and he asked for 3 more.
Haribo. Next is Arya. Hari.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, on this day I would like to wish you a very happy Krishna conscious birthday. Ever since I joined Krishna consciousness at the age of 3, the temple has been like a second home to me. I eat prasadam here, associate with other devotees, and attempt to serve Krishna. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Your determination to serve Krishna is astounding. Day and night, you work hard cleaning the temple, preaching to new devotees, and creating convincing pamphlets every month about Krishna. Without your efforts, I would have been stuck in the material world, committing offenses every day. I remember how on my 5th birthday, you lifted me onto the altar to get the blessings of Sri Radha Nila Madhava, despite my disqualification. One great quality you have is that you see what others are capable of, not their misgivings. Thank you so much for your mercy. Your servant, Aryan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, happy Krishna conscious birthday. Thank you for doing so many wonderful devotional activities for all of us. Due to your ecstatic kirtans, I started enjoying them very much. Prabhu is a practical example for everyone. Through his every action, we can learn so many things to improve in our lifestyle. He has more energy than most of us combined. Prabhu is a sincere disciple of Srila Prabhupada and does service 24/7. I really wish I could learn and do at least some service that would please Krishna. Thank you, your servant Satvik. Hare Krishna.
I take this opportunity.
Nitin is next.
I take this opportunity to wish a Krishna consciousness birthday to our beloved Guru, His Grace Harivilas Prabhu. On this occasion of your birthday, I want to thank you for the things he did for this temple. You shared the knowledge that you accumulated the past few decades about the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other scriptures. When you say something, you do it yourself. You set an example. I like that about the most. You're a great cook. Makes and serves delicious prasadam. You have more energy than all of us combined. You do all the tasks around the temple, and you're over 65 plus years old. It astonished me every time I see you do tasks that I can't do today. You serve Krishna full-heartedly like any great devotee, and again, without you, I might not be in Krishna consciousness, and I wouldn't know who God really is. I wouldn't know that God is with me every moment of my life, even now, and that He's everywhere. I wish more Krishna consciousness birthdays to you to learn about Krishna. Thank you for all the things you did for us. Your servant, Pinal.
Do we have Nitin?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone. So I'm just going to share a few memories that I remember. So last year, I think it was summer. So my mom told me at the beginning of summer, I had planned, okay, I have 3 main things: sleep, eat, sleep. That's all I planned to do. And then I heard the Harivilas Prabhu has summer class. I'm like, summer class? Who goes to summer class? My mom's like, okay, Nitin, every day, morning, summer class, you have to go. I'm like, what time? 6 a.m. I have to wake up. I don't even wake up 6 a.m. during school year. I go, okay, fine, I'll go. So first day I wake up, oh my gosh, no way, I'm going. So I woke up, took a long shower, I came like, oh. Then I came to temple, I saw Omar also in the class. I'm like, oh, at least someone else is here. So me and my sister came, and we sat down in the class, and unlike most teachers, Harivilas Prabhu asked one question: what do you want to learn today? Most teachers have a set schedule what we should learn, but Harivilas Prabhu wants us to learn what we want to learn in Krishna consciousness. He teaches us things that we want to know more about Krishna, and he teaches things that not every normal teacher teaches. And he's like a spiritual trainer, people have personal trainers, and the gym's like, come on. He said Harivilas Prabhu is a spiritual trainer. He's motivating us to go like the gym instead, come to the temple and chant and things like that.
And every day, I started coming. First day I came to class, second day I came, and slowly I started coming every day. And then I was like, okay, I can actually ask questions. He's like another father. Like I started enjoying coming to the class. And thank you, Prabhu. You teach us so much. And I just want to say thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Hari. Hari is next. Hari.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I would like to wish you a very Krishna conscious birthday today, and you're one of the very few people I knew ever since I was born, because I remember I was born and I've seen a lot of pictures that I had with you, and when our temple was a really small, that small house we had here, right? And then as we went more, we moved to Redmond, and we had that building there, and then we came back here with this big building, right? So I liked how even through all that moving, going here, going there, and all the rent, mortgage, and all that, we kept our temple really strong to go through all that. It must have been really hard, right? Like paying all the money, getting the debt off, and very difficult thing to do, right? So I'd like to thank you for that, and because of this temple we have right now, we have a lot of people coming, and our temple has a lot of events happening outside, like Anand Mela, or like the Festival of Colors and all that, which brings more people in, and like that, basically what happened is I'm very happy that we're doing more and more of that, like as you were saying, the compassion and the homeless thing and all that. So as our temple's getting stronger, we're doing more. So I'd like to thank you for helping us do all that. And also, for me personally, you've helped me understand like reading Vedic scriptures and coming to your classes. And past few weeks, I've been coming to your Sunday evening class. And I've actually been able to understand, like I remember that class on how he talked about the person that had the half head cut off, and all the stories that help me understand how things are happening outside. We can relate them to what the Bhagavad Gita is trying to tell us and what the Srimad Bhagavatam is trying to tell us. So thank you for using those kind of examples and other outside material things that are helping us grow here. And overall, as New Year's come, I would like to start improving and start focusing on my devotional activities more, and carry out Prabhupada's mission even more and more, and hope that our temple gets more good news like today. Haribol Prabhu.
Haribol Prabhuji, I wish you a very Krishna consciousness happy birthday. Prabhu, you're a great devotee of Krishna, and you helped us all progress here. You helped me, Bhimsen, everyone. Like, one personal story is, in a Bhimsen sleepover, we all had to wake up for Mangalarti. No one wants to wake up 4 o'clock, but we all woke up. After Mangalarti, we were all chanting, and we were all very sleepy. So after that, you saw that, and then you recognized us, so you made us do like a exercise. So you did it with us. You made us do jumping jacks, push-ups, curl-ups, sit-ups, whatever. You made us roll from one side of the carpet to the other just to wake us up. After that, we were like, oh, okay, now I'm woke up. I'm full. I have energy. So thank you, Prabhu, for that. Hari Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, happy Krishna conscious birthday. And the efforts that Harasu put into this temple is countless, and I really hope that one day I could take up the role that he does and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. I remember one time when we were going to Sankirtan, we were in the car, we were all discussing about the events that happen in our life, and Harasu always tells us these small tips. He gives a small quote, or he gives us a small story that helps us overcome these challenges and lead our way in Krishna conscious life. These stories and quotes really inspire me and really help me to do more in my Krishna conscious service. Thank you for always being there for me, Prabhu, and always teaching me what to do, always teaching me the right things. I really pray to Radha Nila Madhava to give you a long life so we can learn a lot more and help you spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Thank you for everything you have done, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Shirtan is next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm Sritan. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And first of all, I would like to say Happy Krishna, very Krishna conscious birthday to you. And I really like your lectures. They have many humorous stories and they show meaning why Bhagavad Gita is the Bhagavad Gita. And I really like your lectures too. So you made us roll top speed across all the way across the room from there to there, just to make us wake up for Mangalarti, as Akash said. And also, just to be energetic, you're like that. To see the blurry path, you're like a key to the lock of Krishna consciousness. Your guide to Krishna consciousness is exemplary. Your humble ways are the best ways of teaching. Last year, Puja Mataji called me to do some book distribution. First of all, I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was a little bit of my waste of time. So then, I actually kind of started doing it, and I got interest, and you're in my top inspiration. Also, my parents kept telling me do more service, do chanting rounds at home, and then usually I don't remember, and you clear my eyes despite how blurry they are, and I have glasses too. And one of my New Year's resolutions is to do almost 6 rounds every day despite my homework.
Haribol.
And once again, have a happy Krishna conscious birthday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Harivilas Prabhu ki jai.
Anyone from Bhimsen left? Okay. So on behalf of Bhimsen boys, we would like to thank you, Harivilas Prabhu, for engaging the kids, which is the most difficult part of the society to engage. Also would like to quickly say that we all are like homeless souls roaming around from body to body and material universe to material universe. You have given us a home, which is Prabhupada's home. Thank you so much. On to the Blossom Girls. So next is offering by Blossom Girls. So is there a lead for them? Okay. Okay. Come. Stand here.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, we wish you a Krishna conscious birthday. We are so grateful for you because you are in this temple giving lectures on Krishna consciousness. I am happy you have healthy cows in the farm producing fresh, tasty, and healthy milk. I also come to your kids' classes on Saturday mornings. You help us kids know our everyday knowledge so we can grow up spiritually. You are also very inspiring. We are glad about this temple and all the pujaris in this temple. About kids' morning Saturday classes, you tell interesting, funny, spiritual stories. Reading Bhagavad Gita was also very nice. I also pray for a long Krishna conscious lifetime and a good health for you. Thank you and sincerely, Tulsi.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, because of you, my family and I came to Krishna consciousness. We felt much better after chanting the holy names. One thing I like about you is that you're always chanting and you never stop. Now I would like to define Harivilas Prabhu's name. H is for humble, A is for always chanting, R is for righteous, V is for virtuous, I is for intelligent, L is for loving, A is for amazing, and S is for sincere. Your humble servant Avanija. Happy Krishna conscious birthday.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, I wish you a very Krishna conscious happy birthday. You have impacted my life very much. I was 1 year old when I came to this community that you have created. It was the first ISKCON community I'd ever known. In this community, you do service with so much enthusiasm and energy the whole day. If it was not for you, I wouldn't have believed or even known that Krishna is God or anything about that matter. I grew up in this community with Radhanila Madhav, which would have been impossible if it was not for you. This community is like a second home to me. You have such good relationships with everyone, and every Sunday you sing so beautifully. Thank you for filling our lives with Krishna consciousness. I'm very grateful to you for everything you have done. Please accept my humble obeisances and forgive me for any mistakes I committed to your lotus feet. Your humble servant Pranjal.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, happy Krishna conscious birthday. I want to thank you for having the cows in Golgotha. I really like playing with the calves and bigger cows. I also thank you for teaching the kids how to read Bhagavad Gita. I also like coming to Sankirtan and help giving books. Your humble servant Sananda.
Dear His Grace Harivilas Prabhu, happy Krishna conscious birthday. On this very special occasion, I would like to speak a few words. First of all, I'm very thankful to have you in our temple community. Without you, there would not be this much energy in temple, and we would not have such amazing festivals like Holi, Anand Mela, and Rath Yatra. Another thing I'm grateful is for Sankirtan. I like to go out and talk to people explaining them about the books we have, but my absolute favorite is Higher Taste and handing out the burritos. So then at least people are getting benefited by tasting Prasad of Krishna. I also like your Wednesday story classes. The stories are super funny and I remember all of them. I also have fun when we play musical chairs at the end of class, but even if I'm not the winner, I still have fun. The Bhagavatam classes on Saturday and Sunday are also very nice. Thanks to your Saturday and Sunday classes, you impact us by helping us learn our spiritual knowledge so it grow to be a good devotee. I learn a lot from that and I share them with my parents. Thank you so much. I also love going to the farm and playing with the cows. I feel like I'm in Goloka Vrindavan when I go there. I imagine Krishna and the cowherd boys, the gopis carrying pots on their heads, and I'm always in that mood when I go there. I still remember the time when I came to temple for the first time, and I was about 5 years old, and before we were introduced to Harivilas Prabhu. One day we came to temple, took darshan, and went downstairs to eat prasadam. I was still learning how to eat with a spoon on my own, and when I tried, I kept making a mess. And Prabhuji was sitting next to us and showing me how to eat neatly. So thank you so much for that, Prabhuji. You are in your 70s, and I'm astonished by how much energy you have at this age to carry out so many wonderful services in the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Without you, my family and I would never got introduced to Krishna consciousness. We are always indebted to you. How can we ever pay that off? Please bless me so I can do more services for Sri Sri Radha Nila Madhava, and thank you. Your humble servant, Pravalika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You have been such a wonderful role model to me ever since I've been coming to temple. Your intense devotion to the Lord has stunned me. Humbleness is a great quality of yours. You are always so humble and polite to everyone. One thing I noticed from you is that whenever there are any major festivals, you're continuously working everywhere. You're so hardworking, and your hard work always pays off in whatever thing you do. For example, the strawberry shortcake was just amazing. When you work in the kitchen, I also noticed that you never ask people to help you, but everyone is just so awestruck to see you working so hard, and just by seeing you, they get inspired. You want everyone to be happy in any situation, and you help them engage in various activities for their benefit. Once when you were giving lecture for kids, I asked if I could go and drink water. You said yes, but you also told me to chant Hare Krishna on my way. When I asked you why, you told me that every time you walk, you are killing living entities. You are helping us become Krishna conscious in every single activity we engage in. Your compassionate heart has allowed you to help everyone go a step closer to Krishna. Thank you very much and have a wonderful Krishna conscious birthday. Your servant Akshara.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I would like to wish you a happy Krishna consciousness birthday. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for this temple, which makes it a very peaceful place. All your actions inspire me so much, but the one thing that inspires me the most is Sankirtan. Every week you're dedicated to go out in the streets of Seattle and perform Sankirtan energetically. Your devoted nature to enthusiastically fulfill Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission inspires many bystanders and aspiring devotees. devoted to achieve a thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, which is in every town and village, Krishna's holy name should be chanted. Sankirtan is such a great opportunity to chant, dance, preach, and sing. We're all thankful that you organize Sankirtan where we can do something meaningful for Krishna. All your great qualities, sacrifices, and actions inspire all of us to follow your footsteps. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Harivilas Prabhu, happy Krishna conscious birthday. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for this temple, which makes it a peaceful and joyous place. You are filled with many great qualities that are very inspiring. Out of the many techniques that you do to educate people about Krishna, one of them is organizing festivals like Anand Mela and Jagannath Ratha Yatra. You put together these great festivals that help us spread Krishna's holy name and distribute Prabhupada books. Those are great opportunities to not only preach but to also do service, dance and sing for Krishna, honor prasadam and have fun. In the festivals, especially Jagannath Ratha Yatra, I always see you preaching to people and enlightening them about Krishna and his pastimes. This shows that whenever and wherever there is an opportunity to speak about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, or etc., you are always enthusiastic. You have done so much for us, so I want to thank you again. Your humble servant, Gopali.
Dear His Grace Harivilas Prabhu, thank you for all the help you contributed in making this temple a very desirable place to come to. You kindly teach us and correct our mistakes, not only with your words, but also with your actions. What inspired me the most was how you worked so hard to maintain the temple and simultaneously maintain the farm. You showed a lot of compassion by organizing a lot of events, and also you showed a lot of compassion to the mother cow by making a farm. I hope that you will have a Krishna conscious birthday, not only this year, but for many years to come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Happy Krishna conscious birthday. Temple has been my whole life ever since I was born. During my glum days, I would come to temple and the positive energy would immediately put a smile on my face. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. When my mom was pregnant with me, during the 4th month, the doctor said that I had a disease in which I had a 95% chance of being born as a mentally unstable child. Although my parents were new devotees in ISKCON, they knew you were the perfect person to seek advice from. The doctors had recommended abortion, but you advised against it because it goes against all our Krishna conscious practices and values. They followed your instructions, and although the doctors advised against it, my parents filled out the paperwork, relieving the doctor of blame if there were any complications with or after birth. 5 months later, I was born, a normal and healthy child, so thank you. I'm grateful for all your selfless service to the temple and everybody's spiritual development. Please continue to shower your blessings on me, my family, and this temple. Thank you and happy birthday, Vishaka.
Dear Harivilas Prabhu, thank you so much for starting the morning Bhagavatam classes. They're refreshing and your teachings greatly impact me in my day-to-day life. Also, you're always energetic in the temple, always doing some service. You are one of my greatest role models, and I am so glad for everything you have done for this temple. The temple is always a holy place for me. Your humble servant, Shrestha.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday to Harivilas Prabhu. Harivilas Prabhu ki jai. Happy birthday, Prabhuji. And I wouldn't have been came to this Krishna conscious moment at this age. And thank you for starting the Bhagavad Gita class, and I'm very thankful, and I was surprised to see that you were always at the devotion at this age.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I hope you have a very happy Krishna conscious birthday, and I wanted to say a few words about you because I've been here for some time and I've learned a lot along this way. So first thing is, when I first came here, we were already connected to culture, and so we have deities of home except Krishna. We have Krishna as well, and you were coming to our house one day for the Damodar Ashtaka month, and we had Krishna, and then we had Srila Prabhupada and everything, but we also had like Venkateshwara, Rama, and my mom was nervous, thinking all the devotees, everyone else just has Krishna. What will everyone think? But then you came to our house and said that it doesn't matter that you have other devotees, but you have Krishna, and you're going to love Krishna, and all the other gods are same as Krishna, so love them all the way you love Krishna. And then one more thing is that we went on a trip some time ago, and we were coming home back from the flight, and we were like, okay, first thing is temple, not even home. First thing is temple, let's go take darshan. And my dad has accustomed to the fact now that every trip we go somewhere, we have to go visit the Krishna conscious temple. So we went to Vegas this winter break, and we went to the temple there, and we saw that they were building this new building and everything, and we said, do you know Harivilas Prabhu from Seattle? And they're like, yes, I know. Everyone knows you, not just in Seattle, but everywhere else. And the other thing is that I just found out that you were fasting for 4 days. And that you're doing it because it's not your birthday, you don't want to eat delicious food, it's just you want to do it for Krishna on the special day. And that's really meaningful to me. And one more thing is that you have impacted me in so many ways. Temple has become another home, and temple makes me happier than home does. I've come here to discover my talents, I have wonderful friends, and I have amazing role models. You, devotees, Prabhujis, Matajis, kids, everyone here, starting from the youngest to oldest. And this is somewhere I never want to forget in my memory. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I wish you a happy Krishna conscious birthday. I would like to thank you for all the services that you do for Krishna and our community. I am lucky to hear your daily Bhagavad Gita classes since I was 3 months old. You envisioned a Krishna conscious school for young kids. The name of the school was Synergy. I was one of the first students of the school, and you told my mother when I was 3 years old that this school would grow as I would grow in grades. Since there was no option of middle school age kids, so you started a middle school based on the books and teachings of Srila Prabhupada. You have been teaching us about the qualities of a pure devotee. You wake up every day and come to temple and teach us until 1 in the afternoon. The class starts at 7:30. Even though you have so many other things to do, but you still have time to teach us. Even though Prabhuji is ready to teach us every day without expecting anything in return, we to perfect our life, sometimes we hesitate to listen to you. You do not care what other people think about you. Your only goal is to serve Guru and Krishna and to help all of us learn about Krishna. You organize so many festivals. A few examples are Ananda Mela, Festivals of Flavors of India, and Festival of Colors. These festivals are outside of the temple, not to mention how many festivals we have inside of the temple, such as Janmashtami. Currently, you take care of so many cows in Goloka farm and teach us how to live a life of simple living and high thinking, along with daily teaching us all Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam at ISKCON. Let us learn from your teachings and perfect our lives as we journey on our way to Krishna. Your humble servant, Sanskriti.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Harivilas Prabhu, congregational devotees, honored guests. I've been asked to say a couple of things. One item is something that a devotee asked me to share, and then the other thing is something I would like to share with you all that came to me tonight watching this ceremony. First thing is that years and years ago, Harivilas, knowing that in Seattle we need to cultivate people over there too, and what he did was rent a room in a place called the Wallingford Center, and every week for years we had Bhagavad Gita class. And after going through this process for probably about 3 years, something hit me. In philosophy, we have something called an Aristotelian thunderbolt. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, but it means when you have a point of realization, there is an explosion of synapses that can occur in your mind when you realize certain things. And it's probably not uncommon in Krishna consciousness as you make advancements. After some time, I had a little bit of a concern about the sincerity of a new president because of what I had been through in the past. People come and go, and that's the story in Seattle. They come and they go. But after this particular time, after I'd been associating with Harivilas for about, I guess about 6 years, we had a session over at the Wallingford Center, and we were having a little kirtan around this 8-foot table. And as we were doing this, I was thinking, the mercifulness of Harivilas to come and share prasadam with the people, to give Bhagavad Gita class for the people, to help them, to cultivate the social structure over there. And what really hit me as we were dancing around the table was, I am looking at a soul who is really following his spiritual master. He truly is. And it hit me so strongly. And it was a really happy moment. I hung on to that forever. You see, it's a real important realization for someone whose devotional creeper is longing to be cultivated, and that is to have association with someone who can teach you, that is going to be there for you. And over, Harivilas has proven that. He has shown his love for Krishna by showing his compassion, his desire to cultivate other people and have them understand. You see, the holy name is what you need to have faith in. And when you find an individual, 'cause everyone can say this, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But what's behind it? What's behind the speech when you say these words, and when you hear what you say, how it reaches, inside you, the depths of the holy name, which is Krishna. And Harivilas he's in touch with that. So that was what I wanted to say from the other person who asked me. Now I want to say something that I've observed tonight. And this has to do with your birthday directly, and with what we have observed over the last year. Just see these children who are sincerely, giving these speeches to Harivilas. He's guiding these kids. And what is more special to a devotee than to cultivate the garden of souls, so that they also can come to Krishna. It's been a pleasure to know you all. That's 25 years now. I've known and associated with Harivilas for 25 years. It's been a pleasure, and I definitely look forward to the excitement of what we're going to face in 2018. We've got some healing that has to take place. That's going to happen. And it's a great adventure that faces us in the next year, and I'm certainly glad to partner with Harivilas to help make things happen. I hope you are too.
Hare Krishna. Who are all going to speak? Can you raise your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this side, 7, 8. Okay, we are around 8 people. So please take as much time as you can, up to 9:30 or 9:40. Right? So, okay. So I'll randomly call Radhika Gopinath Prabhu. Who? Okay, Rasachandra Prabhu first. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I just wanted to share this experience that just recently we experienced in the family. Oh, all right. So my mother-in-law wasn't doing too well health-wise. She was in the hospital in the ER, and she was being treated. By the way, she's doing fine now. But at that time, she wasn't doing very well. And Tarka Prabhu found out, Harivilas Prabhu found out, and they decided, they said, no, we need to go. We need to meet with her. So one day they came in the afternoon time frame. But by the way, what happened was, the day they came in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, what had actually happened was, a night before, her condition was that she would fall asleep and she would wake up in about, let's say, about an hour or so, and then she'll get some sip of water or something, and then she'll go back to sleep. She was like that weak. But a night before, about like 6 or 7 o'clock or something, she went to sleep and she just didn't wake up. All night long, everybody started to, like, people were worried, doctors were worried. They would, like, kind of thing, try to wake her up. She wasn't waking up, no water, no food, nothing. So it went all night long, and this is like unusual for her to be like this much asleep. So then came the next morning, about 8 o'clock, she just woke up, asked for some water, and then went back to sleep. And then after that, it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, she just would not wake up. And doctors and nurses and everybody were really worried. They would like just come running in, going out, running in. We're going to do this test, we're going to do this, we'll check that. And we were there, so my wife asked, my wife asked the doctors, is my mother gone into coma? Because that's what we were observing. And the doctor said, I am not sure. So nobody was sure about that thing. They said, we are not sure. We don't see any reason for her to have gone in coma, but we don't know. So even he was confused, and he didn't know the reason. So he said, well, let me find out. So they were in. Then he came back along with another doctor, and they shook my mother-in-law vigorously, like just really calling her by name, trying to get her out of her like sleep and whatnot. She no budging. She was just totally knocked out. Somewhere around the time is when Harivilas Prabhu walked in. We sat. We just gave her the seat, and Prabhu sat there. Tarka Prabhu was standing right next to me. And the doctors were there, and kind of thing, they were going in and out. Harivilas Prabhu said very softly, it's okay, they can do that, but can we start, sing, can we chant for her? So we said, okay, you can get started, but at that time the nurse was running in and out, no movement. And then eventually the doctor said, okay, we'll come back a little bit later. Harivilas Prabhu started chanting, we closed the door. And the first video is Harivilas Prabhu chanting, there is no kartal, no mridanga, but Prabhu found something. Watch this. we are having sound issues. But Prabhu is singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra and he is banging on the armchairs. And at this time the main door is kind of closed, so we were just the family member were in the thing, and that's on the bed is my mother-in-law. Absolutely no movement. This is like since the past day before. So just kind of singing and no movement from her. All this time Harivilas Prabhu was like eyes closed, he didn't have a clue what's going on, and he kept on chanting. Just a little bit later, what we started seeing was that my mother-in-law, who would not even move, and this is like within minutes of Harivilas Prabhu singing, we saw that the person who wasn't moving or waking up even with the vigorous shaking had started moving her lips, and she was actually singing Mahamantra and actually following when Harivilas Prabhu was done, she would do that. Watch her hands move up as if she's doing Haribol, Haribol, but all she could move was just a little bit.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare.
Watch her hands. And she's still unconscious. She could not open her eyes.
Yasomati Nandana Vajapara Nagara Krishna Hare Hare.
Pause this.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
So after this thing, Harivilas Prabhu kept on going like this thing, and then at this point the doctors would come in and they'll see that, like, okay, she's starting to move. They're running around and the nurse is coming around, and about the third, let's go ahead and play the third one. This is when she actually forced her eyes open. My wife reached out close to her ears and said, "Mom, did you?" And she was shaking her lips, and so my wife reached out to her ears and said, "Mom, do you see Harivilas Prabhu is here?" She shook her head that yes, I know Harivilas Prabhu is here. Then she says, "Okay, could you please open your eyes?" And she forced her eyes open.
Bala Govinda, Jai Badulala, Krishna Kanaya, Jai Gopala, Jai Gopala, Jai Gopala, Krishna Kanaya, Jai Gopala, Jai Gopala, Jai Gopala, Krishna Kanaya, Jai Gopala.
So this is what we experienced at that time. But one could say that, okay, these are devotees, we are used to hearing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and this is the impact on us. But what happened after that, unfortunately, we couldn't record it because we didn't expect anything. There was doctors and nurses had been like coming in and out at that point. So we were kind of kicked out, like, okay, great, they're going to do some tests or whatnot. So Harivilas Prabhu, myself, Tarkar Prabhu and whatnot, we walked out in the guest area. And my wife stayed back. And the nurse, not a devotee, I don't know what her ethnicity was, but she walks in and she talks to my wife. She says, what just happened? You know, we were like vigorously shaking her. She was just totally out, and now all of a sudden, like, she's wide awake. So what really happened? So my wife says, no. And she says, who was that man who was sitting here and singing? So my wife said that he's our leader at our temple, and he was singing something spiritual. She says, it was so powerful, I had tears, and she had tears in her eye when she was mentioning this thing. She says, it was such a powerful singing, it was just kind of like hit me, and kind of thing. This is the impact non-devotees have when Harivilas Prabhu is singing. So I mean, it's like, so just wanted to share how we felt just recently, Prabhu's mercy. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for leading us through. Thank you.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Yeah, that was a very touching testimony of something that just happened recently. About a week ago, right? A month ago, okay. So, there's so much to be said, but I would just focus on a few things. I travel on business quite a bit to various temples and so on. So it is unusual that there will be so many people in the temple sitting and listening to a lecture, listening to an event. So what Harivilas Prabhu has done is he has made ISKCON relevant for the modern mind. Right? Modern mind is Twitter and Facebook generation, so very little attention span. So people cannot really listen, people cannot focus on anything these days. But what he has done in ISKCON Seattle especially is made ISKCON relevant for the modern technical mind. So that is one point. So Harivilas Prabhu is also leading in ISKCON for innovation. So what I mean by that is Diwali festival in Seattle, right? So it is not unusual for Indian communities to do Diwali festivals. A lot of people are doing it. But our Diwali festival has touched so many people that, in my opinion, humble opinion, it is even bigger than Ananda Mela. The reason is we are able to touch a wide variety of audience. Last time I was there at the book table and I saw people from about 20 countries come there. At least 20, I would say, from Brazil, from Peru, from Europe, from parts of North America. So that is actually going to be bigger than Ananda Mela. Ananda Mela is more for the Indian community, as I see it. I could be wrong. But the Diwali festival in Seattle is an international festival. So where we are touching people from around the world. So where does innovation come in? Innovation comes in from taking an ancient knowledge of Krishna consciousness and making it relevant for 2017, 2018. So where people are able to come in, understand and connect. So connection is very important. It's not so difficult to write a book, it's not so difficult to give a lecture. But how do you connect with your audience, right? I mean, if you have taken any communication course, connecting with the audience is the number one thing. If you don't connect, then you can talk for an hour and everything just goes in from one ear and out from the other ear. So how to connect an ancient philosophy with the modern audience? That is done through music, dance, innovative prasadam. So like, most of the temples don't even do the strange things that we do with prasadam here. They stick to tradition, but then they miss out on the modern audiences. So that is Harivilas Prabhu's primary contribution, how to take what Prabhupada has given and morph it into something that is appreciated by the average Seattle audience. And also I've been with him to go to schools for interfaith conferences and things like that. He's able to present this ancient knowledge to hip-hop guys and Generation X, Y, and especially Gen Z. You know what Gen Z is? 18 years and under. Gen Y is 18 till 28 or something like that. and Gen X is, some of us are Gen X in this room. So how do you take an ancient philosophy and present it to the modern audience? Actually, that should be your next book, because it is not easy. I mean, I travel around the world, around United States, and see a lot of temples are empty. Somebody who's already connected with the philosophy will come and sit. They'll be like, I gave classes in ISKCON Miami, 5 people in the audience, 5. And how many people are here in the room right now? I've gone to ISKCON Chicago, 5 people in the room. I went to ISKCON Houston. I was leading the noon aarti because there was nobody to sing. Can you believe it? There was nobody else to sing. So what he has done is he's made Krishna consciousness relevant for the modern audience. So don't think it's a miracle. All of you people have bachelor's degrees in technology. It is not easy to convince you, but he has managed to do that. With that, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Sendil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I want to touch on a couple of topics with respect to Harivilas Prabhu. One thing is, I grew up in a village community, and the deity worship is something is unheard of in homes, and it's only available primarily for someone who's called Iyengars, who are born Brahmin, and you have to be within the Iyengar community to even think of worshipping Narayana and having a deity at home and all those stuff. It's like extremely privileged thing. And what Srila Prabhupada has done is to bring that to a common man, the most fallen souls like me, to have that opportunity. But then the thing actually materializes is after coming to Seattle, and through Harivilas Prabhu's mercy, even we were able to have the deities at home. Every moment every moment I worship the Lord, that's how I think about it. How privileged, even though I don't deserve to touch the Lord's feet every day and when to pick them up or to put them to bed, Krishna has been merciful somehow. Prabhupada's mercy and Harivilas Prabhu's mercy and devotees' mercy, we get that opportunity. That I take that extremely seriously, and it's the best privilege in this lifetime I've got. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't have that opportunity. And every moment, the deities are there. It helps me to regulate my mind and stay focused rather than going on sideways. So that's something I really want to talk about that. And helps to improve the life in Krishna consciousness. That's one. The other one is, as Prabhu touched upon, the innovation and in terms of preaching styles and all that. The testimony is, so I got the opportunity to host Maharajas and Shesha Prabhu and other GBC members at home. So when we talk to them, especially Shesha Prabhu, he was IEC chairman for a year last year. Every time I talk to him when he comes here, he says, I have not seen any temple in North America is this crowded, and any time of the day, any day I come, there is at least 50 cars. The parking lots are always full. I have not seen any temple. Right? This is a person who has seen pretty much every temple in North America. So if you look at the history of Seattle Temple, it was in a dungeons, and from there Prabhu has brought us this far with so much of difficulties. A lot of you may know, and a lot of you may not know. There's so much difficulties that Prabhu had personally had to go through, and it was really Agni Pariksha. He had to go through real fire to walk through the fire, and through Krishna's mercy and his purity, he's been able to see it through for most part. And today we got to a point where we paid off the loan for the temple, which is, it's a miracle. when so many temples are going through bankruptcy, here we are paying off the temple and looking at another building, and I know we're starting another temple. That's just not possible in any form or shape. Just we may take it easily, but what Prabhu has done is just, it's the generations to come will relish this. And all I sincerely pray to everyone is take that seriously and work cooperatively, and let's just all go back to the where we came from. Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Vidyasagar Prabhu, the owner actually paid the temple off with a check.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Usually I never had a talk in front of the temple audience, but today I thought it's an auspicious day. As Harivilas Prabhu's birthday, I thought of need to highlight something, my realization. I moved to Seattle in 2013, but I was a normal devotee. I used to go to temple in my life, go there, just pray something and just go out. But I never know the importance. But when I started coming to Sunday to drop my daughter, I used to sit and listen to your lecture. Then I used to realize in the first time, you are a Iyengar Brahmin or something from India, you are able to talk all these things. It is not for me. I just was coming and going, and slowly I started getting interest. One of the devotees told me that no, he is not from India, he is an American. And then I started, oh my God, as an Indian I don't know anything. How an American born is so mature, and how I need to start coming. That's how I started coming. But by the mercy of Krishna and from the Krishna Prabhu, I introduced to Discover Yourself in 2014. Then I started realizing what is my life, and I realized I was a very small person. I don't know anything. I need to take it seriously. At this moment, I just want to know, and how I started looking you from, because from 3 years I am observing you. I realized that I need to call two Bhagavad Gita slokas, which I always see. When I read, I see you that as a person. The Bhagavad Gita 14.21, Arjuna inquired, "O my Lord, by which symptom is one known who is transcendental to the three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance? What is his behavior, and how does he transcend the modes of nature?" The Arjuna question is here, he wants to know the symptom of a person who has already transcended the material modes. You want to inquire the symptom of such a transcendental person, how can he understand that he is already transcended? For that, the Krishna says, the God says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Partha, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reaction of the material quality, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone and a piece of a gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friends and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the mode of nature. That's how I see you, Harivilas Prabhu. You are crossed all these things. Because why I can say that confidently? Because from 2015 I took the financial role. I know at that time what are the things happened. At that time, if it is a materialistic person, if the role is very important for me, even though role is not there, at that time I know the loan is close to 700K. It was not a small money. At that time, if you walked out of the temple, we would have not in this position as of today. We have repaid the loan, even though you are an ordinary person. You are very great for me. Hare Krishna.
Prajakar Prabhu. Next is Srinivas Kasambu.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Many happy returns of the day, Prabhu. Today we are assembled here to celebrate the auspicious appearance day of Harivilas Prabhuji, our Siksha Guru. Prabhuji is a perfect example of a devotee, and he has unlimited good qualities due to constant association of Supreme Lord, who is full of auspicious qualities. It is not possible to enumerate all your great qualities, but I would like to just mention a couple of them in the interest of time and for my own purification. To me, Harivilas Prabhu means a perfect example of one engaged 24 hours a day in the service of the Supreme Lord. Since Prabhuji moved to temple recently, maybe in a year back, he lives in a simple room sharing with other brahmacharis, and we are able to see him more closely now. Prabhuji rises very early in the morning every day. He rises by 3:30, and he completes all his rounds before even Mangalarati and attends the full morning program. Followed by this, Prabhu does Swadhyaya, he studies Prabhupada literature, and he begins the day with a strong spiritual foundation, and of course the rest of the day he spends all his energy in the service of the Lord again. So as stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.21, Yad Yad Acharati Sreshtas Tat Tat Evataro Jana Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokastad Anuvartate. So whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. So and whatever standards he sets by example, exemplary acts all the world pursues. So in this way, Harivilas Prabhu sets a great example for all of us to follow. If not exactly like him, to his standard, at least we should try our best, seeing that great example that we have before us. Another quality I would like to speak about Prabhuji, he has a wonderful spiritual vision of compassion that he was talking recently, just now. So currently VCC provides strong foundational training for kids in spirituality and also adults, conducts many outreach programs through culture and art. So you have a great desire to expand the mission of Prabhupada, and we see the success of many of these visionary projects. And this is all because you are selflessly dedicated to the service of Prabhupada, and Lord gives the vision and understanding on how to execute these projects from within. So as stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Stesham satatayuktanam bhajitam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam enamam upayantite. The translation is, to those who are constantly dedicated to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna gives the understanding for Prabhu, and that's how he is going to give us the vision and direction. So based on this verse, we understand that all your actions and projects are inspired by the Lord from within. So thirdly, the greatest good fortune upon a conditioned soul is the association of a pure devotee. As stated in again C.C. Madhyalila 19:151, Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktilata Bij. Out of the many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very, very fortunate gets the opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual teacher by the grace of Krishna, and by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of creeper of devotion service. So you are our Siksha Guru, and we are extremely grateful to the Supreme Lord that we have your invaluable association. We all pray for your good health, so you keep inspiring all of us in our Krishna conscious journey. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for everything that you have done and everything that you are and you gave to us. I request you to forgive me any offenses that I might have committed unknowingly or knowingly. Your humble servant, Harivilas and Mohan.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, happy 27th birthday. It's not 72, but it is his 27th birthday because of his enthusiasm. You know, Prabhuji's enthusiasm is much more than all of us here. So the enthusiasm can be at the physical level or at the mental level. At the mental level, it translates into the planning. At the intellectual level, it translates into planning. So much of planning and vision, Prabhuji shared many times that 25 years ago, when there were no Indians in Samamish, still Prabhuji had a vision and faith that one day there will be people, there will be a big congregation here. And he continued, maintaining this temple with determination. So not only enthusiasm, determination. So we all know about, this famous words from Nectar of Instruction, Utsaha Nishchayat Daryat. So whatever we are seeing today in Seattle, ISKCON Seattle congregation, so many projects, the temple, farm, so many outdoor festivals. So lot of people, before these events or these projects succeeded, they did not have faith. For example, I personally heard somebody commented negatively about the farm. Before the farm started, I personally heard with my own ears that, what do you think of, maintaining cows? You have to wake up early morning, 3:30 and, milk the cows. It's not a joke to maintain the cows. So I personally heard, somebody commented like that. And, whatever we are seeing today, success with so many projects, lot of people did not have faith. But still, Harivilas Prabhu, he continued with great determination. And today we are seeing a great success with so many projects. So, in the Nectar of Instruction verse, Utsaha Nishchaya Dairyat, it talks about how one can continue devotional service with these three great qualities: enthusiasm, determination, and courage. So I would like to read something from Bhagavad Gita, something from Nectar of Instruction, and Chaitanya Charitamrita that talks about these three qualities. From Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 verse 24, the yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. So in many places, Prabhupada defines different types of yogis also as bhakti yogi. Even though it is a karma yogi, jnana yogi, Prabhupada translates as bhakti yogi. So a yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. One should be sure of success at the end and pursue this course with great perseverance, not becoming discouraged if there is any delay in the attainment of success. Success is sure for the rigid practitioner. So we can see with the success of so many projects in Seattle congregation, that is only because of Harivilas Prabhu's rigid practice with determination, having faith in the end success. When so many other people in the congregation are discouraging, sometimes may not be supporting, but Harivilas Prabhu himself, he had strong faith. And now in the next verse, next reference from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 11.52. Such determination is the first qualification, as confirmed by Rupa Goswami, Utsaha Nishchaya Dairyat. One must have firm determination, firm faith. When one engages in devotional service, he must maintain this firm determination. Then Krishna will be pleased with his service. The spiritual master can show the path of devotional service. If the disciple follows the principles rigidly and undeviatingly, he will certainly receive the mercy of Krishna. This is confirmed by Shastras. So we can see the true testimony of these two, verses from Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right here in Seattle congregation, we can see in Harivilas Prabhu these two qualities. Not only big projects. Harivilas Prabhu, as they say, no stone unturned. He does not leave any single opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. So I would like to share my personal experience with regards to that. Couple of months ago, there was a wedding in Olympia. Some American boy and American girl, and the entire family, everyone is American. So they invited Harivilas Prabhu to perform the wedding ceremony there, and I drove Harivilas Prabhu to Olympia. So I was the only Indian. Everyone else, including Harivilas Prabhu, everyone else were Americans. So it was a 2 to 3 hour ceremony, and I could really see how Prabhupada would preach. How he was preaching in 1960s and 70s when he came to America, where there were no Indians, only Americans and hippies. How Prabhupada was teaching, because none of us had a direct practical experience. We have not seen Prabhupada, we have not seen his teaching, preaching personally. But in those 2 to 3 hours time frame, when I was there with Harivilas Prabhu in that wedding ceremony, I could clearly see how Prabhupada would teach to Americans. That's he just exactly repeated what Prabhupada would do and nothing else. And at the end of the ceremony, the father of the bridegroom, so he came to Harivilas Prabhu and said, "Today you convinced me to stop eating meat." So that man, the father, he was never connected to Krishna consciousness. Only the boy, he was connected to Krishna consciousness. But with 2 to 3 hours of preaching by Harivilas Prabhu, he was able to transform that man, and he determined, he decided to stop eating meat. So such a wonderful experience it was that, even though we could not see Srila Prabhupada and we could not experience Prabhupada's style of preaching, but I could clearly see, what it is in Harivilas Prabhu's preaching to those American people. So we are very fortunate here to have Harivilas Prabhu as our Shiksha Guru, without whom, we don't know where we would be today. And, as my daughter said, how can we pay that off? Only by, taking your blessings and engaging in service. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10 people, and please do not take too long a time. Yeah, if it means, is it okay if you can continue up to 10? 10 o'clock? Okay, 10 o'clock. Everybody says 10. Okay, so everybody, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. You can say very good things in 1 minute.
You couldn't break also. I think we should call it as tomorrow continuing.
But just will complete. Okay, so I'll take Vrajaraman Prabhu. 1 minute. Yeah. And we can continue this tomorrow as well. So we'll definitely put a hard stop at 10 o'clock. 1 minute is good enough.
Hare Krishna. So by setting the time limit, Damodar Prasad Prabhu has made me more tense how I will recite, how I will offer the offering for Harivilas Prabhu today. So as Pranjal and Srinivas Kasam Prabhu explained, in the Nectar of Instruction, the verse 3, there are 6 principles which Rupa Goswami talks about, and one of them, and the first one is talks about the enthusiasm. So we see Harivilas Prabhu as the personification of the enthusiasm whenever it comes to whether it's serving the devotees, whether you are a young, whether you are a youth, whether you are old. We saw the various offerings by the devotees, how he serves enthusiastically. Or even if you are coming to the temple for the very first time, he really wants to serve them enthusiastically, and he leads by example. Whether it comes to cooking the prasadam or preaching, whether it's a community outreach projects like Anand Mela or Diwali, he's so enthusiastic to serve and connect the people to Krishna. So I would like to narrate an incident how his enthusiasm has impacted me recently. After I came from this year Kartik Yatra, due to my own mental concoction and my own laziness, I had insomnia for 7-8 days. So, and that increased my blood pressure and other things. So, as you know, everybody apart from Prabhu, we consult Prabhu for all our spiritual and devotional aspects. We also consult him with all the, whether we have a personal problem or whether we have a health problem. So once he called me, when I called Prabhu, I didn't sleep for 8 days, and so Prabhu said, you come to the temple, you spend some time with me, you spend a day with me, and you will be all right. So, but again, you need. I was not sure whether it is going to work or not, because I have taken all the medicines and other things. So, but still I thought, okay, Prabhu is calling, let me come to the temple. So he gave all the do's and don'ts regarding the health. Okay, then after that he said, we had one pending service. I was working with Prabhuji, and that was related to the Bellevue temple. So Prabhu said, you remember that service? Let's go to the Bellevue and let's do it. I was wondering, I didn't sleep for 7-8 days, and Prabhu wants me to go to the Bellevue to do that service. So I went with Prabhu and we did the service. And while coming back, Prabhu genuinely advised me was that, because my insomnia was more related to my own mental concoction. Prabhu said that don't think anything what has happened in the past, and that was very true. Why I was thinking, and also don't think about the future. And what Krishna says is Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atmana Sochadina Kanshiti. And after that, Prabhu asked me to take a paper from his dashboard, and he said that read this verse. And that verse was the Lord Brahma's prayer in the Bhagavatam 10th canto 14th chapter, the verse 8, which is Tattenu Kampan Sushikamikshamana. So and Prabhu asked me to read that translation, which basically says that one who patiently waits for the Lord to bestow the mercy while going through the sufferings of his past misdeeds is certainly sure for liberation, and that is his rightful claim. And after reading that, I feel, and he asked me to also read the purport and translation. And after that, he gave me a short class, and after that, I was enlivened. And after I went back home, I could feel that enthusiasm, what Prabhuji talked about. Like, if you have any difficulties in your life, think that it's the mercy of Krishna. And that's what Prabhu said, that he reads that verse every day without fail, actually. And that night, I had the best sound sleep. And next day morning, So I didn't even reach 1/4 of the page, but what I want to sum it up is that as I said, he is a personification of the enthusiasm. His enthusiasm is very contagious, and that has manifested his enthusiasm. Because of his enthusiasm, that has manifested in this wonderful temple, farm community, school, or Blossom Girls, or Bhimsen Boys. So that with the same, so Prabhu, on this day I'm summing up. So on this day, we'd like to pray, Prabhu, please bless us with the enthusiasm, same level of enthusiasm that you have, so that we can continue our devotional service. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's a long 1 minute. Now, Bharati Mataji. Bharati Mataji? They're not spoken yet, so 1 minute, Mataji.
1 minute, less than 1 minute. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, I would like to talk on behalf of the Blossom Girls. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Even though actually we are not done doing everything whatever we plan, You gave us a big list of topics which we need to cover in the Blossom, but we need your blessings again so that we can continue the whatever you plan. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Puja Mataji. Just stick to one person, 1 minute.
They are not going to talk. Don't worry.
I had to.
वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and assembled devotees. We wish you all happy Krishna conscious birthday. And it's not just your birthday, it's a special occasion for all of us who are here and all of us who are in the greater Seattle community. Wherever you take us, for all those people, it's a benediction that Krishna sent you on this earth on this day. So it's a biggest festival here. As said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3:25-21, Titikshuva, Karunika, all the sadhu symptoms are there in you. You are the living example with us. We are lucky to have your association. Prabhuji is a revolutionary and he's a visionary leader. And I heard one of Srila Prabhupada's dear disciple calling him Einstein. So just like we say for Einstein, it will be very hard for our generations to believe that such a person is among us who is made up of similar constituents just like we are. So Prabhupada, he's a living example of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, and he follows what his Guru has taught him. Prabhu touches all aspects of our life, leading all the spiritual paradigm based on Vedic life. And as Radhika Gopinath Prabhu mentioned, Harivilas Prabhu dovetails all the proclivities of all of us for Krishna consciousness, be it Halloween to Krishnaveen, be it Holi festival to festival of colors, and throughout every day of the weekend. It's like a Vrindavan. We are here. We used to hear that in Vrindavan, Goloka, every step is a dance and every day is a festival. I think we all experience it. Every day we feel that. And Sankirtan, Prabhuji focuses on Sankirtan and book distribution. Every week we go out. Sometimes devotees come and tell me that I can distribute a lot of books, but that's not true. I'm telling the real secret today. As Rasachandra Prabhu said, the secret is the bhajan. And all the kids which are standing here, which are there with me, they just set up a team on their own and they start distributing books. And sometimes this is a fact now that they motivate me and we motivate each other to distribute the books. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for teaching them and inculcating the classes. I know I have 1 minute and I just want to say that these kids want to say 30 seconds.
Harivilas Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and you. In your classes, we have learned that the Bhagavad Gita talks about devotional service. So me and my best friends started the book Devotional Service. So with the permission of Puja Mataji and Targa Prabhu, we started to distribute. Not only did we distribute for donation, but to get closer to back to Godhead. We thank you for your sincere...
Please come out with us, please help them, please encourage them, and please distribute books whenever you can.
Hare Krishna. It's like Oscars, right? You can't restrict them. Amish Sharma Prabhu. And next, Rantidev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Happy Krishna Consciousness birthday, Prabhuji. As requested, it's 1 minute. I will try to as brief as possible. As we have talked a lot of qualities about Harivilas Prabhu, I would like to highlight 2 qualities, enthusiasm and love, that I see. Whatever service I see Harivilas Prabhu is doing, I see always one thing is enthusiasm. No matter what, either it is like midnight in Anand Mela or any temple service, and the love. Whenever I see any service Prabhuji is doing with full of love, either it is serving prasadam or cooking or any other service. Please bless us that we always able to associate with you and learn these qualities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rantideva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Wish you a happy Krishna Consciousness birthday, Prabhuji. I just got shortcut. If you don't want to be cheated, just try to understand the one Harivilas Prabhu instruction, Guru Sadhu Shastra. If a instruction is out of this thing, don't accept it. Just recently happened in India. A lot of many sadhus exposed in doing wrong things. So it's a very important. It's a many cheater outside, and Prabhupada said because cheater is there because people want to be cheated. So if you don't want to be cheated, just remember the Guru Sadhu Shastra. Hare Krishna.
Cody, 1 minute.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Harivilas, please accept my most respectful obeisances. I don't feel like I deserve to speak in front of all these great devotees, especially the kids. They make my heart feel like it's going to pound out of my chest, and tears flow from my eyes. Most of you know that we just went to India, and seeing all the holy dhams, I really don't know how to put it into words. But it made me realize that Harivilas has created a holy dham here in Seattle, Washington, for all of us, and my endless gratitude to your lotus feet and Prabhupada's lotus feet. Not only has he given us a holy dham here, but he's given me a place to live on the farm, and and opportunity to serve the cows and serve Srila Prabhupada. I look forward to doing my very best for you until the day I die. Hare Krishna.
Pandavija Prabhu. And please stick to, time is coming now to 45 seconds now.
I'll be 30 seconds, Prabhu. Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Happy Krishna Consciousness birthday, Prabhu. I'll be really quick. As Kasam Prabhu said, you're definitely 27, not 72. Two things I want to quickly share, the way you inspire us. I fell sick a week back, still struggling to recover. I heard from Harivilas Prabhu last night you couldn't even breathe, and today you're here to give us support and enthusiasm. Second thing is your realizations. On New Year's Eve, we came on the altar and said, Pandavija, I'm extremely happy. And I asked you, yes, Prabhu. And you said, the mortgage is paid off, and it's primarily due to only one thing, the deities. The deities look so gorgeous and beautiful. Prabhu, I had tears in my eyes. On your birthday, just like last year, we promise and commit, we all will work very, very hard to make the deities look beautiful every day. Thank you.
Radhananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I would like to share an incident. It was a couple of weeks ago, and on a Saturday with some of the other devotees. We were rolling some khandvis, and Shaurya was with me. He was getting restless, and Harivilas Prabhu, he basically, just like a grandfather plays with his grandchild, he put Shaurya on a chair, and in the kitchen, he started pushing the chair around and giving him like a joy ride. And that was such a touching moment. When I described this to my wife, she was not present at the time. Her heart melted with so much, love and affection and gratitude. And the point I'm trying to emphasize is that earlier, we heard from Harivilas Prabhu, he, like all the projects that he's envisioning, like how we could engage homeless people, expanding the farm community, increasing the dairy production, and such complex and projects. Somebody who is involved in that, might not be interested in all the small happenings that are happening, like small child crying, what's the big deal? But it just shows how Harivilas Prabhu cares for every single detail, and that is seen from this particular incident that was so touching. And I can tell you, 1 year ago, we decided to move to this community specifically because in the past I had opportunity to visit Seattle and see the power of Harivilas Prabhu, the magic that he has created, and that's the reason we moved over here. And within last 1 year, I had a accident immediately after moving over here. My car completely got totaled. Nothing happened to me. 2 months later, the job that I took to move over here, I was said that you would be let go in 2 months. After that, even before, I had just got a verbal confirmation for another job that Radha Neel Madhav somehow magically arranged, and my landlord said that you need to move out because I want to sell the house, and I'll be moving 3 times within 2 years. So from material perspective, everything eventually worked out nice, but it was a challenge. But for not even a single second, I had a second thought that I made a mistake by moving over here, and it was all because of continued association of the devotees and inspiration from Harivilas Prabhu that we have got here. Hare Krishna.
We say 10 o'clock.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I have a lot to say, but I'll just try to finish in 30 seconds. So there's Prabhupada wrote a letter in 1976. It says, if you feel at all indebted to me, then you should preach vigorously like me. That is the proper way to repay me. I really see, Prabhu, one quality I am trying to understand from you is how you like to be a devotee. What does it mean by a devotee? So you following your Guru's instructions, as Prabhupada's favorite verse is 2.41. So you are exhibiting the qualities and you are inspiring in every day and trying to teach us with your actions what it means to be a real disciple. And also one of the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25-21. So it basically, whatever the qualities, when I heard first time about that verse, I was trying to see who could be the devotee. Now whatever the qualities in that mention, it's all, we could see that in you, Prabhu. And time you mentioned so many instructions are giving to us, come to Mangalarati, come to Sankirtan, so many instructions. Because of my false ego or slack in my daily life, some of the things I am not able to follow your instructions on in this auspicious day. I beg to your mercy and your instructions so that one day we will be able to follow your instructions. Your humble servant.
The last 2 minutes, Ganpati Prabhu and Bharati Mataji.
Happy Krishna Consciousness birthday to you, Prabhuji. So I'll try to make it quick. So I just want to tell a personal incident that happened again 2 years ago during Anand Mela again. We have all, I'm guessing that we would have seen Bahubali movie, but to me, please raise your hands, who's the real Bahubali? Harivilas Prabhu ki jai. The reason I'm saying that is, again, I think Srinivas Kasam Prabhu and Pandav Vijay Prabhu, right? He is 27. I have proof that he is 27. The reason is, and this is not, take it as a joke, but it is not an easy job for anybody of any age to do 24 hours. So a couple of years ago, even the, again, I don't want to name the country, but the people who work harder, as they say, those people ran away. They said they cannot do the kind of service or the tedious work that we do. So we were there in the Anand Mela venue for 24 hours. And guess who was there with us? Harivilas Prabhu, and he was 70 back then. And 24 hours from 6 o'clock on Sunday till 6 o'clock on Monday, and he was still going. We all had gone because the whole ground was all clean, and he still was going on. So he has magical powers, believe me. And he is 27 or younger as well. And the other thing I wanted to point out, Prabhu, again, the cows. Cows are so important in our community. And as I think Srinivas Kasam just mentioned again, is there were so many negative reactions, so many oppositions, so many doubts from any side. Any side, they were just, oh, this is not possible, 430 who's going to do it, but you did it, Prabhu. And I see the impact on people of all kinds, especially people who are eating cow meat, which is the most sinful to do. I see that every day, whenever, especially when we have the Diwali festival that happened in Seattle, I could see so many non-devotees, coming to and seeing the cows. Just by seeing, they were so happy to just see the cows, and many of them have not seen a cow actually. So, thank you for everything, Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Bharati Mataji. Krishna Prabhu, come. Krishna Prabhu is the last one for today. Tomorrow also you can speak. So whoever has not an opportunity today, please speak tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Shri Abhi Krishna Consciousness birthday. I just want to share a couple of things about Harivilas Prabhu. Once I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Srila Prabhupada was saying it's very difficult to please a rich person. He has been everything. So he said if he has a dog, if he pleases the dog with a couple of biscuits, the owner will be very happy because he loves the dog. So how difficult it is to please Krishna? Because he has everything. So it's extremely difficult to please Krishna. So Indra did it when he is angry. Krishna was angry. He got a cows and did it, and same thing. Harivilas will be doing the same thing. That's why our farm community, he is developing cows. He has a love and affection for cows. We can see here because that's the crux. He got how to please the Krishna. So if we can participate what Harivilas Prabhu is doing, you can also please Krishna easily. And other thing I want to say is, Prabhuji used to say, it's very difficult to get donation than drawing a blood from a person. And see how difficult it is to pay off the Nilamada, make debt free. How difficult. So on top of this, not only that, it's how about free meals. Fridays, Sundays, it's like feasting. And on top of not only that, we have never-ending festivals, one ek like that. So it's extremely impossible to get these donations and do these things. It's only possible by the only dedicated disciples of Srila Prabhupada like Harivilas Prabhu. Nobody else can do. And I just want to end with how Harivilas Prabhu depend on Krishna. I just give one example. Let's see if you are driving a car, what does it take to change a line? It is nothing for us. But for him, I tell what he does. Once we are coming from Sankirtan, and we have to take from I-5 to 90 to get into our Samamesh. And it's like cars are coming, it's very difficult. We are just doing what Prabhu is driving. We don't know what's, we're just sitting and seeing. Prabhu is saying, finally about to miss the 90, that guy suddenly put a brake and he took a turn. And Prabhu said, see, that's what happens. If you depend on Krishna, chant Krishna, you will get the way. That's a very simple thing. That's how he depend on Krishna, even for small things. So we should be able to learn a lot of things, follow, then we can understand how to please Krishna by following Harivilas Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now is the cake waiting here. Oh, there's a 1 minute video and then there's a cake. And all the next generation, please line up here, including Harivilas Prabhu. Hare Krishna. All the kids, please come forward. And stand to the side of the cake without touching it. Harivilas Prabhu, please come. Don't touch the cake and don't be too close to the cake.